Alrighty. What's up, everybody? It is I, your travel god of screen, Peter Joseph here, once again for video number 2 on your Saturday night, January the 17th, 2026. Thank you all for watching right here on the former home of the Gilmore Chronicles, now known as the evil and dark and scary Shadows Lair 2.0. And this is episode number 101 of the Shadows Lair 2.0 series. Thank you all for watching. Make sure you like the video, hit the subscribe button down below. Subscribe to my other channels as well. Leave a comment on this video or any one of my past, present, and future videos on my respective channels. Don't leave stupid comments. You get sent to that shadow realm where you'll be beaten severely, and Ozzy and Satan will then eat your soul. And that's pretty much it. Share the video all over the internet. Follow me on social media, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And don't forget to tap and slap that bell to turn on all notifications so you don't miss the next one. Because if you miss anything, well, too bad for you. You get, well, if you miss anything, you're SOL. You know what that means. And if you don't know what it means, too bad. And that's that. Alright, ladies and gentlemen. Football's coming up. We're going to overtime in Denver as Buffalo kicked a field goal with 5 seconds left. So, barring a kickoff return for a touchdown, this game is going to overtime. We got the Niners coming up in about 15-20 minutes. So, we got that. But also, we got Tna Genesis. And then on episode 101 of the Shadows Lair 2.0 series, it is time for your Tna Genesis predictions. Genesis comes your way tonight. What's happening right now? Now, everything I'm saying right now is happening right now. But what happened then, I don't know. But anyway, we are from the Curtis Colwell Center in Garland, Texas, outside of Dallas, with TNA Impact Wrestling. Alright, so we got a big card. 10 official matches, 8 on the main show. Pre-show is starting right now. We had Channing Stacks Mahomes defending the TNA Intercontinental title against Grandpa Eric Young, that fake YouTuber BDE, and the mystery opponent KJ Orso, whoever the fuck that guy is. Stacks won the match to retain the TNA Intercontinental title. Alright, also on the pre-show, Tessa Blanchard and Mila Moore with Robbie E. and Alicia Fox. Like, Robbie, Alicia Fox. Take on Indy Hartwell and Vicious Vicky Venuto. I know you! I know her husband, too, or her boyfriend. Good guy. It's on here on YouTube, by the way. So that's going on right now. See what's going on there. Okay, so the first match lasted under 6.5 minutes. This match is going on right now. And that's that. Alright, let's get to the main matches on the show. And we're pretty much going to go from top to bottom, as on the Wikipedia page. So we're going to start with Ryan Nemeth taking on Mara Shade, otherwise known as Jakara Jackson, if you're nasty. They've been going at it for the last couple weeks. Ryan's trying to get in Mara Shade's pants, or at least a date. Mara Shade's like, I don't want to deal with you. Super kicking him in the face. I have a feeling Ryan's going to win this match. So I'm going to go with Ryan just because, not because of, my big brother, Nick Nemeth, but I'm just going to go with him because I have a feeling he's going to cheat to win. So Ryan will win that, and we move on. Alright, then we got a triple threat match I mentioned on my TNA Impact review on my Killer Demons channel. Check that out. Cedric Alexander was supposed to take on Leon Slater for the X Division title, but since there was a lot of visa issues, some of the stars couldn't make it, so like Danny Luna, she can't make her TNA Knockouts title match against Xia Li, so that match is now scrapped for a later date. Same thing with Cedric Alexander. He gets his X Division title shot at a later date. But tonight, he faces Moose of the System and a guy named Below Average Joe Hendry. I'm going to go with Moose to get the win. And That's pretty much it. There's not much build to it, so I'm just going to go with Moose out of spite. But that's that. Alright, then we got Flop Dollar, AJ Francis taking on the man who goes all night long, all night. Rick Swan, with that whole situation where Rick Swan was not doing what AJ said, and then AJ beats up Rick Swan, and then Rick Swan gets revenge. So this is going to come to a head tonight. I'm going with Flop Dollar to pick up the win. I don't know, but that's a toughie. We got that. Alright, then we got a singles match between Elijah. Who wants to walk with Elijah? He's taking on Mustafa Ali with the beautiful Puerto Rican princess herself, Tasha Steelz. You know, these two guys have been going at it. Elijah's pretty much dragged Mustafa Ali, you know, by his horse, pretty much. Mustafa got a little bit of revenge over the last week or two. I mean, Thursday night, Elijah was with the Hardy Boys. They got the win over Ali in the Great Hands. And then Agent Zero wiped them all out. And then the Righteous had to save the Hardys, which led to that. I'm going to go with Elijah to pick up the victory here. Just because, and that's pretty much it. Alright. Then we go to the TNA World Tag Team titles. On the line, we got the Hardy Boys, Matt and Jeff, taking on the Righteous, Vincent and Dutch. You know, the Righteous made that whole shrine in the locker room to the Hardys, showing the kids and showing Queen Rebecca. I don't know about Senor Benjamin and Vanguard 3.1 or whatever it's up to now. I sense a title change tonight, so I'm going to go with my gut, and he usually wins. So I'm going to go with the Righteous to pick up the victory. And that's pretty much it. So we're going to have new tag team champions, even though the Hardys have re-signed with TNA. So we got that. Alright, after that, we got the TNA Knockouts World title on the line. Xia Li defending against Delta with Sol Ruka at ringside. I don't know if Xia Brookside is going to be at ringside for Xia Li. But this came about on Impact, on AMC, because it was supposed to be Xia Li versus my girl Danny Luna. But since Danny Luna's visa problems happened, Santino put out an open challenge. Del Ruka came out, and so Ruka says, hey, Delta, you can have the title shot. I don't want it. So, we're going to see what happens tonight. I have a feeling Xia Li might retain. I mean, it would kind of be weird if Delta won the title, and then eventually her or Sol turn. I don't think it's going to be tonight. It might be on NXT. Might be at Vengeance Day. I mean, we'll have to see what happens with that. So we move on. Alright, the Broncos got the ball in overtime. Now, the first, if the Broncos score here, the Bills have to go downfield and score a touchdown because a field goal would not do it. Or the game can end on a defensive play or a touchdown. Well, actually, yeah, if the defense gets an interception or a fumble, the game is over. So if the Broncos score and then the Bills score, then it goes to sudden death. Pretty much the next score wins, whether it be a safety, a touchdown, or a field goal. In the playoffs, you get 15 minutes, so it's basically a new game, but it's in overtime, 3 timeouts each. I don't know how the replay rule works with that, but so we'll see what happens with that. We move on. Alright, so like I said, in the TNA Knockouts Women's title match, I got Xia Li to beat Delta, and that's it. Alright, then it's time for JDC's retirement match as he takes on Eddie Edwards with his hot wife, Alicia Edwards. If I was Eddie, I would have Johnny Curtis go over in his last match. So I'm going to go with Fandango to pick up the win in his final match in TNA. Then we'll find out who his replacement will be this Thursday night on the program. I don't know who that could be. So we'll see what happens with that. Oh, and by the way, that guy that was supposedly the man who's pretty known in Texas was KJ Orso, whoever the fuck that guy is. that was a waste because you had Booker T, who lives in Houston, and JBL, who has been around Texas a few times. So we got that. Alright, then we go to the main event for the TNA World title with Dolph Ziggler and Nick Nemeth as a special guest referee in a Texas death match. It's going to be brutal, violent. We love violence. So we got Mike Santana, the champion, defending against Frankie Kazarian, who gets his obligated rematch. I can see Dolph getting involved in the match and then cashing in after the match. So I see Mike Santana retain, and then Dolph tries to cash in. I think Dolph might come out with the belt, which will suck. Because that'll be 2 times that Mike Santana's had a very short title reign. And we'll see what happens with that. But I hope not. If Dolph does cash in tonight, I hope he loses and Mike Santana leaves Texas with the TNA World title once around his shoulders. So we'll see what happens with that. And we'll move on from there. Alright guys, that is it for episode 101 of The Shadows Lair. And that's pretty much it. I'm going to get ready for the Niners coming up in about 10 minutes or so. I will not be watching much of Genesis. I'll watch a few bits and pieces here and there. But as far as the review, that'll be tomorrow afternoon. And then we'll do a Collision, a Dynamite, and Collision review on the Peter Joseph channel. So get ready for that tomorrow. So 2 videos tomorrow. And then if anything else comes your way tomorrow, like Trick Willie would say, let's talk about it. And that's that. Alright, so enjoy the rest of the football coming up tonight. Denver's about to score. They're at the 7-yard line. If they score Actually, no, take that back. If now that Denver had their first possession, could not score, if Buffalo goes down the field and scores a field goal or a touchdown, they win the game. So Denver had a good chance, but the Buffalo defense was strong and had them punt the ball all the way down to the 7-yard line. Now they have to go downfield pretty much like 70, 80 more yards to get in the field goal range and possibly upset I think they're the number 2 seed, which was the number 1 seed, I think was the Broncos. So this could be a huge upset in the AFC. And it could end on a safety. No. Josh Allen got out of there. He runs, he gets tackled. Almost got a face mask penalty. But was able to make something out of nothing, and he got down to about the 11, 12-yard line, so about 5 yards, 3rd and 5. So if the Bills don't do anything on this drive, they don't score and they have to punt, then it's next score and wins, which it is right now, pretty much. So we'll see what happens with that. And that's it. But if the Broncos did not win this game, I think it's a very big disappointment. Because they had a 13-point lead and choked that. And now they're in overtime. So let's see what happens. Allen back to pass. Once again gets pressured. Throws wide open. First down at the 24, 25-yard line. So a new fresh set of downs for the Bills. 11 and a half left in overtime. And if it ends in a tie, it goes to double overtime. There's no ties in the playoffs, so they got that. Alright guys, I'm getting ready for the Niners. I'll see you guys later. Thanks for watching. Until next time, go Niners and peace.